Good evening. I'm Catherine Haynes, the president of the Board of Jewish Family and Community Services East Bay, and I want to welcome you to this very different Art of Living 2021. While we wish we could be together in person tonight, I'm very glad that we have the opportunity to gather virtually, to share stories, and to raise funds to support the vital work that JFCS East Bay does in the community. As we begin, I really want to thank you for your continued support and your partnership, and I especially want to recognize all of the event sponsors who are with us here tonight. This has obviously been a year of great change in the world and right here in the East Bay. One of those changes has been the transition in leadership at JFCS East Bay. As many of you know, our longtime executive director, Avi Rose, retired this December. And after a comprehensive search, we were honored to hire Robin Mencher as our new executive director, and she has hit the ground running fast. So I'm really excited to welcome Robin to her first Art of Living. Welcome.
Hi, Catherine, and thank you. I'm so happy to be here tonight with you and our wonderful supporters. Thank you for that warm welcome that you have all extended to me as I begin my tenure here at JFCS East Bay. I've loved getting to know our staff, our board members, our supporters and volunteers, and learning about all the ways that JFCS East Bay serves our community, both before COVID and since the pandemic hit. I'm honored to be a part of this work and to be here tonight asking all of you to stay involved and contribute and continue your support.
You know, I'm really glad you mentioned our work both before and during the pandemic. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is the fact that the agency really continued to provide all of its core services over the past year, while also launching a brand new emergency assistance program that helps people with things like housing and food security.
Yes, this illustrates how JFCS East Bay has always been an innovator and a leader. When things happen in our community, we find a way to respond and to be there in whatever way is needed.
You know, another way that the agency has really stepped up this year is in advancing our work in anti-racism and investing in strengthening our diversity and equity and inclusion efforts, both inside the agency and in how we provide our services and interact with our clients.
Right. For the agency to truly embody our values, our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion needs to be among our highest priorities. So internally, we're undergoing an in-depth process of looking at how we can improve our systems and our practices. As part of that, we're also taking a very close look at how we share our clients' stories. And that is actually going to change some of the ways that we'll be highlighting our work tonight.
I think that's an important point to share. Many of you are used to coming to Art of Living and seeing videos of clients themselves telling their stories. These are powerful, and we know their impact, but there can be negative consequences. When you ask clients to come on camera and share their stories of trauma. So we want to put the needs and the experiences of our clients first, and we want to amplify their voices without inadvertently exploiting them.
For these reasons, the way that we share the agency's story is going to be different this year. Rather than clients themselves telling stories, you're going to have the opportunity to hear directly from our staff about their work, the needs they're seeing, how they do their jobs, and how the pandemic has affected things. Well, everything, really.
You know, I'm really excited about this. We have an amazing, skilled, and dedicated staff, and I love the fact that their voices are going to be raised up tonight because they are truly the heroes of our agency's story.
I'm incredibly proud that we're making this shift to help ensure that we're treating our clients with respect and with care. And on that note, I think we should get to it. At this point, I'd like to introduce Greg Quiroga, who will be our MC for the evening and carry us through the program. Hi, Greg, and welcome.
Hello, Robin. Thank you, and thank you, Catherine, as well. It is an honor to be here with you tonight. And good evening to all of you watching from home. It is excellent to see so many of you joining us for Art of Living 2021, a benefit for Jewish Family and Community Services East Bay. As Robin said, I'm Greg Quiroga. I have the honor of being our MC for the evening. I also have the honor of asking you to step forward and continue your support of JFCS East Bay. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. Whether you are new to JFCS East Bay or a longtime supporter, you are going to learn, laugh, possibly cry, and we're hoping support the great work of JFCS East Bay. Though we aren't together in person and we can't see each other directly, we, on our end, can see your intentions made real. Participation is easy. You've already done the hard part. You've registered for the show, clicked on the link, joined us tonight. Now all you need to do is text AOL gift to 41444. You can see it right here on screen with me. AOL gift to 41444. Or you can simply click the link below the event description on YouTube. If you make a donation tonight, you can cover it immediately with a credit card, but if you want to pay by check, the donation form has an option to pledge now and pay later. However you want to cover it, feel free to make your donation whenever the Spirit moves you. And we're thinking that by the time you meet and hear from all of our speakers tonight, the Spirit is going to move you. Every donation you make is appreciated. Every donation you make will support the great work of JFCS East Bay. And with that, let's get started with our program because it is excellent. We're going to enjoy a moving performance by the singing group Vocal Rush from the Oakland School of the Arts. You're going to get to hear from two of our longtime volunteers and supporters about their connection to the agency. But first, we'd like you to see this video about the great work that JFCS East Bay does and the amazing women who lead it.
When JFCS East Bay was founded, it was built on the values that run through Jewish tradition, from welcoming the stranger to visiting the sick, honoring our elders, focusing on all we can do in our individual and collective efforts to repair the world. And those values have stayed constant over all of the programs and projects and services that we have offered.
Our Immigration Legal Services program provides a wide variety of services to all kinds of different clients. We defend people in their deportation proceedings to help prevent tragic family separations. We work with clients to achieve their lifelong dream of citizenship. We help young people apply for DACA and obtain work authorizations. And we assist people with their green card applications, U visas, and a wide variety of other options. Our Immigration Legal Services clients come from all over the world, and it's very difficult for them to operate in that system without lawyers and legal assistants that know and understand the process well. And what we're able to provide is safety and security, a clear explanation of what the process looks like and how they can engage the immigration system to get the status that they desperately need. I love doing this work as an immigration advocate because I'm able to be with people in challenging times to help them navigate increasingly complex systems and to bring them hope. There is nothing more rewarding than working with clients and watching them be able to transform their lives.
Our services include Holocaust Survivor Services, which is a multidimensional program, and family caregiver support. We have a social program for Jewish adults with developmental disabilities. We provide home care, care management, care consultations, and we have a very important program that serves the community with acute needs, the Jewish Community Safety Net. We see people who are struggling with being able to pay for their housing and are on the verge of losing housing. Some have become homeless. We help with medical expenses, dental expenses. We help with caregiving. We want our clients to know and feel how much we care about them and really kind of wrap them with that feeling of compassion and care so they don't feel so alone.
Parenting and youth services fall primarily into three categories. First is mental health treatment for children and families. The second is mental health consultation to preschool teachers and staff. Third is training, teaching, and coaching of preschool teachers in a social emotional framework. Parenting and youth really strives to bring families together and strengthen them. We really try to build on their resilience, help them with resources in the community. And most of our families are from very, very low income backgrounds with a lot of community violence and domestic violence and poverty and systemic racism. And part of our trauma-informed approach really enables us to really understand what the issues are behind what the family is challenged by or struggling with. And that really allows us to treat the families with compassion and dedication and the respect and dignity that they deserve.
Refugee services includes 3 programs: resettlement and placement, intensive case management, and mental health. Our past 4 years has been challenging. A lot of damages has been done to refugee programs. The messages and the policies that were coming from that administration created a lot of fear and trauma among our clients, especially our Muslim clients. Being a newcomer in a country, it's full of challenges. It's from the language barrier to culture barrier, as well as not familiar with rule and law and policies, and to obtain social security cards, to be connected with social service office, with medical system, banking system, to be able to secure an employment. It's a very challenging journey. I'm being a refugee myself. It's very personal to me. I understand the journey. I understand the amount of sacrifices that these people made while they're fleeing the violent situation, and they're coming in a country with a hope that they will be treated fairly.
We've been honored to stand with our clients during these challenging times to support their resilience as we move through this pandemic. But we know that those challenges are even more intense for some members of our community, whether that be our elders, the recent immigrants among us, or the essential workers who are keeping us going at peril to their own families. And so we ask you to stand together with us as we continue to provide supports and build capacity for all members of the East Bay community today and whatever the future holds in store.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, but you can't find the fighter. But I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you. Spread a little hope and love now. Encourage them to rise up now. And we'll rise up. We'll rise like the day. We'll rise up. We'll rise unafraid. We'll rise up. And we'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up. High like the waves. We'll rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up. And we'll do it 1,000 times again. We'll rise.
Hi, I'm Eliza Metzner, a volunteer on the Art of Living Committee.
Hello, I'm Peter Metzner. I'm a volunteer, a former board member, and a former president of the board.
Over 100 years ago, my illiterate Russian Yiddish-speaking grandmother, my bubby, and her baby son fled Lunenitz in the Pale of Settlement. She daringly traveled across Siberia and sailed to Yokohama, Japan, where inflation made her hard-earned rubles near worthless. Bubby might not have survived had Jewish agencies not stepped in to get her a room, write to her husband in America, and arrange passage on a ship that took her to Angel Island in the San Francisco Bay. Upon arrival, Bubby was once again greeted by Jewish agencies that guided her through immigration. I doubt I'd be here today if not for those agencies. I donate because JFCS East Bay's work with Holocaust survivors, immigrants, children, individuals, and families gives me the opportunity to reflect on my own heritage, from shtetl and strife to comfort and contribution in 3 generations.
We all have our own stories of how we came to where we are. And for me, my story is that I was initially drawn to JFCS East Bay through an Art of Living and learning about the Holocaust Survivor Services. This was such a parallel to my own family history and knowing that my parents wouldn't have survived without the help of agencies like JFCS East Bay. As I learned more about the agency and the wider range of services to fill needs of an underserved community, my involvement grew. For me, the agency has become an embodiment of the meaning and action of Tikkun Olam, to repair the world. And my involvement has really given me a strong sense of purpose by supporting an organization that pays it forward and reaches out to those in need with a strong sense of kindness, compassion, and social justice. And I've seen how each dollar, how each budget is so scrutinized with such a strong focus on maximizing the benefit of services to clients. I know that every dollar that I donate is going to contribute to the well-being of someone in need.
We support JFCS East Bay because it's the right thing to do.
And we hope that all of you will join us as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eliza and Peter, for sharing your heartfelt stories. We appreciate all you do for JFCS East Bay. You truly are an inspiration for all of us, and your stories are great reminders of how a single act of empowerment can have positive reverberations for generations. And speaking of inspirational, can we just take a moment and give props to Vocal Rush? What an amazing performance and what a great message for us tonight to move mountains and rise up. And the way that you are going to help us rise up is by making donations. Every donation you make will empower and strengthen families in our community. And in just a few moments, we're going to start taking donations in earnest. But first, we kind of like to see how you've been doing at home. And so we've got a virtual photo booth set up. Let's see some pictures from our virtual photo booth. Oh, I'd like to say you look marvelous. Love the background. Love the props on the great mug there. Beautiful family. Thank you for sharing with us. And hello, good people. Yes. Oh, Courtney and the doggo. Hello, doggo. It's good to see you all. I love to see all of you. I know that we look forward to being back in the same room together, but for now, this is pretty awesome. And also, this just came in. We have some exciting news for the fundraising portion of this evening because an anonymous donor has stepped up and offered up a $25,000 challenge grant, which means every donation you make right now is going to be doubled. You can create twice as many stories, empower twice as many families, every donation you make. JFCS East Bay is always there for our community, and this past year has been especially trying. To make sure we can effectively serve the community, our goal for the entire event this year is to raise $325,000. You can see it on screen right there. With generous sponsorships, ticket sales, and some early gifts, we've already raised $226,000, which means our goal tonight is to raise $100,000 to fill up the thermometer. Now, since the pandemic began, JFCS East Bay has helped 135 families with rent expenses, provided 198 households with groceries and food assistance, hosted dozens of virtual social gatherings for Holocaust survivors, all through your support. Support that we can see coming in right now, support that is being doubled thanks to our anonymous donor. And we've had donations coming in since the beginning of tonight's program. Jeff Eifeld, we see your pledge, and thank you. We appreciate it. Dina Levine Lipset and Michael Lipset, we see your pledge. Thank you as well. Anybody who wants to make a pledge, now is the time. Remember, text AOL gift to 41444. Susan Seeley, thank you for your donation. Ruth Phillips, thank you. Keep those donations coming, everybody. Doug Berman, we see your pledge and we appreciate you. Barbara Finkel, thank you for your donation as well. Catherine Haynes, thank you. We appreciate your donation. Joelle Ben Izzy, thank you. Keep those pledges coming, everybody. Keep those donations coming. Every donation you make tonight goes to empowering the great work of JFCS East Bay. Work that you're going to hear more about in a few moments when we get to it. But right now, we want all of you, because remember, we've got a challenge grant on the line, $25,000. Every donation you make will be doubled. Sandy Gross, we see your donation. Thank you. Michael Beckwith, we see your donation. Thank you. Steve Brown is in as well. Joan Deengott, thank you. Wendy Greenberg, we appreciate your pledge, your donation. Keep those donations coming, everybody. Every donation makes a difference. Greta France, we see your donation and we appreciate you. Every donation you make supports the great work of the JFCS East Bay. Every one of you who makes a donation tonight is touching the lives of families in our community. You are becoming part of the JFCS East Bay family. And right now, we'd like to introduce you to an exemplary member of the JFCS East Bay community, Alila Mayer. For her bat mitzvah, Alila created a project to support JFCS East Bay's refugee clients. It is a fantastic story that illustrates how many ways there are for all of us to engage with the agency to build connection and community. And when Alila's story inspires you, trust me here, remember that we still have the challenge grant going. Do not miss the opportunity to have your donation doubled. And with that, please everyone join me in welcoming Alila to our program this evening.
Hi, I'm Alila and I live in the East Bay. So I got involved with JFCS through my synagogue. My family worked with JFCS to help new refugees find temporary homes within my community. I took an interest in this refugee resettlement program because I felt that it is very important for people who have had such a hard past to be welcomed into their new homes. I can only imagine how difficult the refugee experience can be, and I wanted to make sure these people had as easy a time as possible once they got here. So for my mitzvah project, I decided to do an art and school supplies drive for new refugee children. I love art, and I wanted to share this by providing refugee children with the resources they needed for school and also to create art. I made an Amazon wish list with things like paint sets, folders, crayons, pencils, and much more. I sent it out to all my family and friends, and soon I started receiving packages to my house. In the end, I collected a car full of supplies. To continue my efforts, I visited a couple of new refugee families. I brought each kid a backpack full of art and school supplies, and while visiting with them, we made some art together. It felt amazing to be able to see the real impact my work had on these kids and how much joy it brought them. Of course, I couldn't have done it without the support and contributions of my friends and family. Their enthusiasm is what helped it to be such a huge success. It makes me happy to support JFCS East Bay, and I hope you will support them tonight too.
Lila, you are a shining example for us all. You are truly inspiring. And it really says something about this agency, that it finds avenues for people in our community to truly put their values into action. Keep up the great work, Lila. I think I speak for all of us when I say we're looking forward to seeing what you accomplish next. And all of you watching at home, you are doing great work as well. The donations continue to come in. Rebecca and Peretz Wolf Prusen made a donation. Thank you. Rachel Biale is in. We appreciate your donation. Rabbi David J. Cooper, thank you for your donation. Rose Ann Cochran, thank you. Keep those donations coming, everybody. Shannon Edelstone has made a donation as well. Aviva Black is in. Yes, go, go, go. Julia and Mark Klebanoff. And let me just say, at any point, if I get somebody's name wrong, I apologize. I'm doing my best here. It's a brave new world, and I'm seeing you in a monitor below the screen, and you're all coming at me, and if I get it wrong, it's coming from a place of love and appreciation, and we're doing great work together as Claire Metzner makes a donation as well. Thank you. Robin Flagg, we see your donation. Keep those coming, everybody. Shannon Chamblin is in. Jeff Burak and Shelley Ball make their donation. Easier for you to do than me to say. Keep it coming. Susan Koch, we're going to hear more from Susan later, but thank you, Susan. We appreciate your donation. Ann Glasser is in. Frederick Hertz is in. Vivian and Sandy Golden make their donation, and now we have put $10,000 towards that challenge grant. We have another 15 to go, another $15,000 to be doubled. So let's keep those pledges coming as Carol Hyman makes a donation, and Lisa Hirsch is in as well. John Alexander, we see your gift and thank you. Melissa Chapman makes a donation as well. Naomi Tucker is in as well. We have put $11,000 towards that $25,000 challenge grant. You are doing great work. Keep those donations coming. Vicky and Steve Zatkin are in. Maya and Brett Singer make their donation. Naomi Tucker, did we already say you? We love you. We still appreciate every donation. Lori Shack is in as well. Keep those donations coming, everybody. Keep those donations coming. You are doing great work. You can see, and look here, we caught up, right? Here we go. There's Aviva Black. There's Claire Metzner. There's Judith Lipset in. Thank you, Judith. We appreciate your donation. Keep them coming, everybody. Keep those donations coming. Remember, every gift you make right now is doubled. Every gift you make does great work through the incredible staff and volunteers of JFCS East Bay. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to move on with the program. And this does not mean that you should stop making donations. No. Keep making donations. We've put $14,000 towards our challenge grant. We need another $10,000 to get the full 25 from our challenge grant. So I will do my best to acknowledge each and every donation you make on our live stream tonight. We've got a great system in place. We'll make sure that we see you and we recognize you when you make your donations. For now, what we're going to do is move on with the program. You keep those donations coming. But as Catherine and Robin mentioned at the beginning of the show, Tonight, we're going to raise up the voices of some of the amazing frontline staff at JFCS East Bay. And through them, we hope to give you insight into the agency's on-the-ground work and how we serve our clients. So to do that, I'm going to bring back our Executive Director, Robin Mencher, to introduce a panel of staff members from across the agency's service areas. And during this conversation, keep in mind, we've got the challenge grant going. We're up to, you're doing great work. Fred and Barbara Eifeld, we see your donations. Susan Foreman, yes. Robin Shelton, yes. Keep those donations coming. Whenever any of you watching feel inspired, please text AOL GIFT to 41444, AOL GIFT to 41444, or click the description of the event window under the YouTube video. But right now, with that, welcome back and take it away, Robin.
Hi, Greg. Glad to be back. And now I have the great honor to be in conversation with 4 members of our amazing staff at JFCS East Bay. We've put together a panel. I'll act as moderator, and I'll ask some questions to each of our 4 participants, who, let's go ahead and introduce the folks we have today. First is Rose Frank. Hi, Rose. You're a social worker in our older adults department, and you've also been coordinating our Jewish Community Safety Net program during the pandemic. We also have with us this evening Valentina Torres. Hi, Valentina. Valentina is our early childhood mental health specialist who serves as co-clinical manager in our parenting and youth services department. We also welcome Mina Walizada. Hi, Mina. You're our resettlement coordinator working in our refugee services department. And we're also joined by Kimberly Martinez. Welcome, Kimberly. A removal defense legal assistant in our Immigration Legal Services Department. We're so glad you're all here this evening. We'll go through a series of questions that we've prepared, and I'll get a chance to have each one of you share your thoughts and ideas in answering the questions. Sound like a good plan? Great. So let's just go ahead and start with 1 or 2 sentences. If you could each tell us about why you are called to do this work. Rose, why don't you start us off?
I'm called to do this work not only to, for holding a deep desire to support those within our community, but also because of the constant resilience and the show of strength that my clients put forth day in and day out. It's incredibly inspiring.
Thank you. Kimberly, why are you called to do this work?
So I was born and raised in an immigrant community here in the Bay Area. I saw how far even a little bit of help could go in changing the lives of people and families. And simply put, I'm now doing the work that I grew up appreciating and respecting.
Thank you. Thank you. Mina, what would you like to add?
I want to add, I came as an immigrant myself, and in some way I relate myself to all these clients that I support. I feel proud. There's a lot of needs, and I feel I can provide what I've been through. That way I can support my clients and give it to them what their needs are, what their struggles are.
Thank you. Valentina, what motivates you to do this great work?
Yeah, I think my story is not too dissimilar from Kimberly's. I was born and raised here in the Bay Area, and from immigrant parents who instilled in me the importance of community and the importance of giving back and making others' lives a little better by being in their lives. And so, my goal and my wish is to be able to provide the communities in which I was raised, support, services, love, care, for them to be seen, heard, felt, and respected.
Thank you. I can certainly attest that as your newest colleague on staff, I'm quite honored to be able to work with each of the 4 of you and our whole team. I wasn't here before COVID started a year ago, so I'd like you to describe to me and to our community gathered what was your job like before the pandemic hit? How would you describe your role? Kimberly, why don't you pick this one up first?
So my job involved going out to different community offices and participating in the citizenship clinics out there, where we would help people prepare their entire files that they could become citizens and future voters of the United States. I also visited the San Francisco Immigration Court quite a bit to help file documents for our clients who are in processes where they are about to be deported. And so we did a lot of work outside of the office, which I really loved. We also did work inside of the office with our clients, in which we had them come in. We would prepare declarations with them and help them, piece together what would eventually be seen by an immigration judge or people who would make very big decisions in their lives. And so my role has really just been to assist in that journey, which can be very stressful and daunting for so many people, but we are equipped to do that for the community.
Thank you. Wow. Valentina, do you want to jump in?
Sure. Yeah. So before COVID times, I say we because I'm speaking for a lot of my colleagues also in the parenting and youth department, but as an early childhood mental health specialist, we spend a lot of time out in what we call out in the field, which means being in the communities where our families are. We do family and child therapy in homes. And so we're lucky to be welcomed into these families' homes. Another aspect of what we do is doing early childhood mental health consultation in preschools and in family day homes, childcare homes. And so it's just wonderful to be a part of a community and in their homes and really seeing what's going on and providing services to promote some healing, some understanding of social emotional development, better reflection, and providing support for these families.
Wow, thank you. Mina, tell us about your work life before COVID.
Yes, sure. As my colleague said, I'm speaking on behalf of my entire refugee services department. So before COVID, our job it was 60% of in the field. I'm starting about our clients picking up from the airport. Our new arrivals start from the pick up from the airport, taking them to their new residence, taking them to the social service benefits office, to the social security office. There was a lot of field transportation involved in my job, and we provided a lot of support in the community with our clients. We tried our best to our new arrival clients are connected to the resources, all the resources available for them to start their new life from scratch. And I'm very proud that I'm part of that journey with them.
Thank you. Rose.
Pre-COVID-19, it's hard to conceptualize what that used to look like. I spent the majority of my day out in the field with clients, like many of my colleagues. We were able to provide in-home therapy services for older adults who couldn't make it into the office, consultation services to older adults and their families, case management services. I was often taking clients to doctor's appointments, making sure they had their medications, making sure they had food in their home. Those were all a regular part of my weekly routine with work pre-COVID.
All right. Well, we're a year in to the start of the pandemic when so much has changed. Rose, we're going to start with you. You kind of got a new job at the start of this pandemic. Can you tell us a bit more about the Jewish Community Safety Net?
Sure. So our Jewish Community Safety Net program was launched in response to community need within about a month after the pandemic initially hit. We were seeing that folks were in need of immediate financial assistance. Many had been laid off of their jobs or had been forced to reduce their hours at work. Many were newly responsible for child care and were balancing the needs of homeschooling their children within a new role and balancing their own work requirements. We saw many folks who needed basic needs, food support, clothing, immediate shelter, And so our Jewish Community Safety Net program was established to be able to help folks meet those newly developed needs and ensure that we get them through this challenging time.
So Valentina, one day school's open, the next day school's closed. What was going on with your families a year ago?
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. You know, we do play therapy primarily, and therapy in homes, and that involves our full selves, our full body, our presence, being there, being on the floor with the kids, being there close to the parent, reading body language, and all that changed when we moved to providing telehealth services. And so the clinicians with which I work have done an amazing job at sort of learning how to do this job when you're not in the space, and using really creative techniques like, you know, doing Zoom. You can zoom in to see like animals at zoos, finding ways to do online games, using different tools in Zoom to create artwork together. You know, they found online sand tray, making packets for families to send to their homes so that they have self-regulation tools for their kids when they're using Zoom, because it can be very dysregulating. And when you're a clinician and you're not in the room, that's very difficult. And so it was a way to connect. In terms of our work in preschools, you know, that again was also very different and very difficult. A lot of what we do is observations and working with kids and teachers in the classroom. And that also shifted. So a lot of meetings. But the benefit of it has really been that we've gotten closer, a lot closer to a lot of the staff that we've worked with.
Wow. Let's stick with this theme about how the way we do our work has changed in this past year. We'd love to hear some experiences like Valentina just shared about what it's like to do this work instead of in the field from our homes. And what are some of the challenges that come up? And what are some of the silver linings or successes that we've managed in spite of all things? Rose, you want to jump in?
Sure. I will admit that I felt that working from home was going to be impossible at the start of all of this. You know, I'm so used to being able to not only meet with our clients in person, but go into their homes, connect with their families, you know, assess their space. It's a huge part of what we do. And many of our older adults weren't comfortable with the use of technology, at least not consistently over longer periods of time. So that was a big challenge for us to face initially, just reconceptualizing how do we do this work that is so personal. It was interesting. It was very interesting. And I think that our team has done an amazing job of adapting and supporting our clients in adapting. You know, within the Jewish Community Safety Net program specifically, at the start, I was a little intimidated to meet with folks at their most vulnerable points only over the phone. Oftentimes, we didn't even have the ability to connect via Zoom and meet face to face. So these new callers who had oftentimes never reached out for help before were speaking to somebody that they couldn't picture and telling them some of their most vulnerable circumstances and situations. And we have found that, you know, working remotely has actually proven there are definitely some silver linings that we've been able to see, in that, you know, clients we're transparent in that we're working from home. Clients often hear background noises or dogs barking. You know, they get a little bit of insight into what our home lives are like, and it's taken this wall down. It's made our relationship stronger, and it's been a very beautiful thing to witness.
Wow, thank you. Mina, what would you like to add?
Yeah, as my colleague mentioned in the beginning, we had a lot of challenges. Especially our job is very personal with the clients. You have to make sure you have that eye contact with them. You want to see them in person to build that trust between you and your client. But all of a sudden, working remotely, it was a challenge. But I feel we our refugee department made such a good job, all the refugee services department and our clients as well. They put a lot of effort by using technology, by sharing with us over the phone a lot of insight, a lot of personal information. And like Rose mentioned that uh, usually when I'm on the phone with the client, they see my daughters, I have my 3 years old daughter crying. Oh, is that your daughter? Yes, that's my daughter. What's her name? So that relationship, it made us more closer. I feel like working from home, that bond, we more connected.
Thank you. I've met your daughter in the same way, and I know how your clients feel.
Yes.
Kimberly,
Definitely.
what would you like to add?
So similar to what Rose said at the very beginning, that she thought it wouldn't be possible to do this work from home. I think everyone in our team had a lot of questions of what that would look like. Some of the challenges have included, asking clients for very personal information over the phone or in an email, which we just never really did because we would have the opportunity to see our clients in the office. A big challenge has also been our clients' homesteading. We're aware that many of them have children in the home. And, when we're calling them to ask about specific details and sometimes very traumatic things that occurred to them in their home countries, it's just not a good situation if there are children around and a client isn't able to express their fear and anxieties. So I would say that has been a huge challenge. A silver lining in all of this has been that our clients really do trust us. They have been so open to giving us information, of course, when they have the privacy to do so. And also in bringing to us personal documents that we need so that we can fully prepare their files. So I would say it's been difficult, but at the same time, we've had many opportunities to be creative about how we are able to meet with them, socially distanced, of course, and how to make sure that everything is prepared for them when we are able to go into the office.
Thank you. One of the first stories I heard after joining the staff was how much business gets conducted on the sidewalk outside of our offices now in Concord, including official government documents getting signed and all kinds of things, right? So that real flexibility and innovation has been a lifeline for many of our clients and community members. Thank you. Thank you. So we have a picture now of how things changed when the pandemic hit and we started working from home, but the work didn't stop. You all know our client base incredibly well, and you build up this trusting relationship with them. I'd love to hear a little bit about the trends that you're seeing, about needs that have shifted or grown over the course of the pandemic. And then also, what do you anticipate in terms of how things are evolving, what the continued needs or new needs might be, or new opportunities? Valentina, why don't you start us off?
Sure. So the continued need is access to resources, housing resources, financial resources, food resources. Our families are struggling. Many lost jobs and still haven't gotten work. There's also, they've been hit by COVID personally, so there's a lot of medical needs. There continues to be technological issues and need around internet access, computer access. These families live, sometimes multiple families in a home, and their bandwidth gets used up, and there's not enough technology. There's also a need for creating community. Many of the communities in which I work are used to being in community. They're used to being with each other. And I think at this point, that is a big need that we haven't yet found ways to create activities, events, things for people to come together. And that's a big need.
Kimberly, what would you like to add?
So unfortunately, in our department, we saw that there was a lot of instability in the communities that we worked even before COVID. So you can imagine that during COVID, it has been exhausting. the wear and tear of this time has really just taken a toll on so many families, especially when they're all together in one house and not able to leave. I have seen that our clients are just tired. They need social services support. It's awesome that we are a social services agency, and it's so unique that we as legal assistants are able to refer them to different departments within our agency. I don't know how I would be able to do this work if I wasn't able to fully help my clients in the way that I think I am and other people in my department are doing right now. For example, being able to refer them to get mental health services, or to receive assistance in other ways, such as our food pantry program. So there are many needs, and very fortunate also to know where to point them to.
Thank you. So let's move on to our final question. We'll do a quick round. If you could each of you share in a sentence, what are you most proud of in your work? Who wants to start us off? Thanks, Kimberly. Let's hear it.
I would say I am most proud of the fact that even when we are working with just one client, we could potentially be helping them obtain the stability and safety that they need and that their family needs, and that probably will change the lives of future generations.
Thank you. We'll go to you next, Mina.
Yes, there's a lot to be proud being in this job. But one thing I'm really proud of being part of this job and working with the Resettlement Department to resettle our refugee clients. When they come here to start their life from scratch, from nothing, and making them that suitable life, and I'm part of that journey with them. I'm very proud of it. In this 3 months, which we were able to make our clients comfortable and make them their house and home, their living, and suitable with their children. I'm very proud of that.
Thank you. Rose.
I know we've used the word resiliency a lot, but I think it's such a consistent theme in social work. I am definitely most proud of the ability to witness my clients' strength and their resilience. And within my direct role, I'm incredibly proud to be a part of such a supportive team within the JFCS East Bay agency and our older adult services department.
And Valentina.
Yeah, I share a lot of the sentiments my colleagues just spoke to. I think what's standing out for me in this moment is my colleagues in the Parenting and Youth Department, the way they've stepped up and have not dropped a single day's work, the way they show up for the families, the things that they have to hear and witness, and they show up with care, with humility, with respect, and much of that has to do with the way that we're held at the agency. And so that's what I'm proud of, is that we've kept the quality and the continuity of service throughout this, and it will continue because there's just so much heart and dedication.
Thank you. Well, I'm quite honored to be able to call myself your colleague, and that is true for the whole staff at JFCS East Bay. Thank you so much. It's also true for our volunteers and our supporters and our community partners. We don't do this work alone. And if COVID has shown us anything, it's the power of what happens when we come together, right, to build on that resiliency. So thank you all for sharing your stories and your work with our clients and the power of what JFCS East Bay contributes to our community this evening.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Valentina, Mina, Rose, Kimberly, and Robin. We appreciate you providing such an in-depth look at the work of the agency and giving us a glimpse of your skill, your thoughtfulness, and your compassion. You are truly empowering and strengthening families, helping everyone in our community to rise up and thrive. And All of you watching from home are doing great work as well, because during the panel discussion, we hit our $25,000 challenge grant, which is amazing. And we have some even more amazing news, because another anonymous donor called in and said they wanted to put up another $15,000 as a challenge grant. So if you haven't made a donation yet, know that your gift will have an amazing impact. You heard Peter say earlier that JFCS East Bay is incredibly cost conscious, making every dollar of every donation count. Well, right now, every dollar of every donation is going to be doubled still moving forward. So if Valentina, Mina, Rose, and Kimberly have inspired you, now is the time to send that text or click that link. And look, we've already started moving again. We're within $13,000 of meeting the new challenge grant that we have come. You're doing great work. We need your support so we can get all the way there. Nancy Fasher, we see you. Jill Rose, Aliza, and Peter Metzger, of course, welcome in. Stephen, Judy Lipson, Mark and Sharon Priven, Benjamin Cook, Catherine Haynes, Myra and Jerry Fieger, Julie and Hillel Solomon, Paul and TB, Susan Rosethal, Virginia and Mike Pizer, Fred, Isaac, Dale Marie Golden, Deb Fink, David Shaw, Harvey and Rona Weinstein, William Jennings, William Rothman, Jacqueline Smith, Cynthia Taines, Phyllis Helfland, Alan Cash. We appreciate all of your gifts. Keep those pledges coming as look at this. We're pushing again forward. I'm trying to do math while I talk at the same time. Oh, we dropped the 25 in. That's what happened. The $25,000 challenge grant pushed us up to $380. Plus, we continue to get new gifts in. So now we're up to $284,000, which means I got to do a bunch of math on the fly. So 270. Anyway, you are doing great. Keep those pledges coming. In fact, look, let's take a moment to let you shine. You have been submitting photos via our photo booth all along. Let's take a look and see how good you look right now. Oh, and while we were admiring all of those photos in the photo booth, we got it figured out to where we need to get. We've already got $5,000 towards our second challenge grant, so we're $10,000 away from hitting our second challenge of the night. So while you are getting those donating fingers limbered up and making your donations and texting AOL gift to 41444, I would like to introduce you to one more agency supporter to talk about her connection to our work. Susan Koch is a social worker in our community who has had the opportunity over the years to collaborate with some of our parenting and youth staff members, and then seeing our impact and staff up close inspired her to volunteer to join our board. Here's Susan.
Good evening. My name is Susan Koch, and I'm a JFCS East Bay supporter and executive board member. Growing up in the East Bay Jewish community, I always knew about JFCS, but I didn't really understand the scope of their work. However, when I became a social worker working with foster youth, I got to know firsthand the work that the clinicians in the parenting and youth program were doing. Many of the young foster children that I worked with were served by this program and had early childhood mental health clinicians that I got to work with on an in-depth basis. JFCS clinicians were dedicated, compassionate, and knowledgeable, and really connected to their clients and their families. I joined the board 2 years ago to support this important work and to combine my professional knowledge with my love of the Jewish community, and to help increase knowledge, and involvement about JFCS within my generation. Now I'm working with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force to make sure that our work is reflective of the underserved communities JFCS supports, and to help JFCS advance racial justice and equity throughout the East Bay. Early childhood mental health is an issue near and dear to me. Please help me in ensuring that we are able to continue serving the children in our community.
Thank you, Susan. We appreciate your donation earlier as well, stepping up. And look, the gifts continue to come in. We are on the home stretch. We are within $9,000 of hitting our second challenge grant this evening. We are on the home. Lawrence Poland, we see your donation. Garrett Langfeld, Alana Lipset, Paul Raskin, Ellen Goldstein, Michelle and Dave Joseph. We appreciate all of your donations. We appreciate everybody who has made a donation to tonight's event. Keep those donations coming. Look, here's the thing. Our donation platform is going to be live forever. It's going to be there for a long time. So if you haven't yet made a pledge or you're watching a recording of this program, know that you can continue to have a direct impact on the awesome work of JFCS East Bay. As I said, we're within $9,000 of hitting our second challenge grant of the night. You keep those donations coming. We appreciate each and every one. As Michael Samuel comes in with a donation, thank you. Yes, Michael Samuel and Jane Martin. Sorry, Jane, a little too quick on the poll there. Didn't want to forget you, but keep those donations coming. Every time you want to, text AOL gift to 41444. Even if we can't call your name or recognize you live, we appreciate your support. Amy Dodson, we see your donation. Thank you. For the live portion of the evening, we're so close. We're within 8,000. The fundraiser in me wants to stay and say, we can do this. But I also know that we appreciate your time and respect it. So what we're going to do, we'll conclude the live portion of Art of Living 2021, a benefit for Jewish Family and Community Services East Bay right now. But like everything in the virtual world in which we live right now, it's going to continue to live virtually. So know that you can keep making donations, because you can see we're close to goal. We're so close to goal, especially if we were to get the next 8,000, and then that pushes us over the top for 15, and then get with the challenge grant, and it gets us super close. But we also want you to be able to enjoy the end of the show on a high note. So it has been my honor to be your MC and your fundraiser this evening. Do not go away, because we have another amazing performance by the Oakland School for the Arts Vocal Rush. But thank you so much for being part of strengthening our East Bay community. We are truly all in this together. Oh, boom, and there we go. I think we got the second challenge grant, because bang, all of a sudden we're over 300,000. We're all in this together. Thank you for all of your donations, wherever you may go in this life. Lori and Doug Elephant pushed us over the top. Wherever you may go in this life, when you get there, please always remember, use your powers for good. And now, everyone, to take us home one more time, give it up for Vocal Rush.
What a feeling can't be changed. As they say, a smile won't catch your eye. So goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.